Hi there, and welcome to a special World Series edition of Who's Zoomin' Who, presented by Team Monarch partner, the Virginia Lottery. I'm Ted Alexander. We're talking baseball with ODU head baseball coach Chris Finwood. Coach, great to see you again.
Great to see you. Ball game, Teddy ball game. Got the World Series edition going with the best nickname on the air.
Hey, Tampa Bay Rays, Los Angeles Dodgers earned their way into this not only through the playoff run, but as being the best two teams in the funky regular season. Overall thoughts on the matchup, which will feature a couple of Old Dominion Monarchs?
Well, first of all, I'm a big fan of the format. You had baseball every night. You didn't have travel days. You didn't have anything. And, to have two game sevens like that, I thought was pretty special. And they were both great games. I stayed up late and watched that Dodgers Braves classic finish. And I'm a lifelong Dodgers fan, but I texted with Ryan Yarbrough and Matt Cuatrera yesterday and told him this year I'm a Rays fan in the World Series. I'd like nothing better than to see two of our very own getting their the World Series rings. And, that would be four guys in the last 3 years, four Monarchs in the last 3 years. Started with Justin Verlander and then Daniel Hudson last year. Obviously, if Ryan and Matt, if the Rays can win, then they'll both get one. That's pretty special. I mean, for little Old Dominion, that's a nice thing to be able to say, I think.
Let's talk about what these two Monarchs bring to the Rays club. First of all, the 6'5" left-handed pitcher, Ryan Yarbrough. He's at Old Dominion in 2013 and 2014. What did you see during his days as a Monarch that you thought might turn into something special?
Well, Ryan really improved while he was here. He came in here out of junior college, Santa Fe Community College down in, the Tampa St. Pete area. And he was just not in great shape physically and needed a lot of work. And he put the time in. He was good enough to get drafted, I think, in the 14th round after his junior year. Decided to come back and ended up being a fourth rounder as a senior. A good example of a guy that just needed another year of development in college to make it. And then he went out and he's had nothing but success in professional baseball. Was his organization's pitcher of the year, I think, a couple of times in the minor leagues. Got traded to the Rays and, moved very quickly up there through their system and ended up in Tampa and has had a lot of success there. I saw a neat stat, Ted, on him. The last time he was pitching, they said he had the lowest, I guess, exit velocity against in all of the big leagues, which means no one's hitting him hard. And that's a pretty neat thing. So, they track everything metrics-wise now in baseball. And so his exit velocity against was the least out of every pitcher in the big league. So that's a pretty neat thing to have going for you.
Not a bad postseason record for Ryan Yarbrough, the former Monarch, 2-0 overall with a 2.77 earned run average. What kind of pitches does he bring? So just give us a scouting report as we expect to see him against the Dodgers in the Fall Classic.
He's really developed his off-speed pitches. He was primarily a fastball guy when he was here. The off-speed was a work in progress. He actually threw a little bit harder when he was here. He's really pinpointed his command and his control and learned how to be a pitcher. He's got a fantastic changeup now. He's got that little cutter that he throws on both sides of the plate to righties and lefties and, mixes in the fastballs in and out. And, because he's not the hardest thrower in the world, he has to be very precise. And, his margin for error is a little bit smaller than some of these guys that throw 97, 98. But he does. He knows that about himself. He's a very self-aware young man, and he's really become a fantastic competitor. So you can see it in him out there. Like, he expects to do well, and I think the team, also expects him to do well because of that.
Matt Cuatrera is a member of the ODU Sports Hall of Fame. He's the bench coach for the Rays. He's also on the tip of the tongues of a lot of other major league teams in terms of managerial prospects. Tell us about Matt Cuatrera.
Oh boy, what a special guy Matt is. A lot of the guys in the industry call him Q because of his last name, and he played for Coach Guzzo here at Old Dominion and was an All-American catcher, fantastic hitter. As you mentioned, he's in the Hall of Fame. He came back a couple years ago to speak at our annual, baseball dinner and spoke to the team a few times. He's interviewed for a number of managerial positions, and he's right there on the cusp of getting them. And the more success the Rays have, obviously, the more that helps him. I expect him to be a manager here in the very near future. He's a really smart guy, very well spoken. But a really, really good person. He checks in on us. He'll send us all texts about the season and things like that. And, he sends us Rays gear every fall. So I told him and Ryan both yesterday, we sent them each a box, care package box. And I said, the only thing is, man, at some point when you're getting interviewed, you got to wear one of these Old Dominion hats. So they both said they would do that. And they're proud alums. They both valued their time here. They played in completely different eras. Ryan in the mid 2000 teens and Matt, back in the 90s. So, but they both had a lot of success here and built on that and took it into professional baseball.
What does it mean for your current guys and for guys, future Monarchs, to see that, yes, the dream can be realized from Old Dominion?
Well, it's always special when the guys come back. Vinny Pasquantino was here last weekend, with the Royals, and when P.J. Higgins comes back, who's knocking on the door of the big leagues with the Cubs, all those guys come back and they give back. They share with the current players. They give them advice, and I think that's so very important because they're where these guys want to be, and they can see you can get there coming from Old Dominion clearly. And so that helps that, that carrot just stay out there a little bit brighter for them.
With that being the case, everybody still holds on to that dream. It's been a funky few months. What's the ODU baseball team up to here in the fall of 2020?
We are up to normal things right now, knock on wood. We've got all the players out there healthy. We've had, that's been about 3 weeks we've been that way. We started our first group of scrimmages last weekend. The weather's been great. We're going to go later this year, right up until the week before Thanksgiving, actually, because of having to push everything back. But the weather here in the fall is fine, so that won't be an issue. And we've got a good group. It's an older group like most of college baseball will be this year, and a lot of experience. And we're trying to work in the new players, the young guys, and teach them kind of our way of doing things and what the expectations are and how to go about their business the right way. And everybody's getting their training in and, getting their feet wet. So at this point, it's mostly about just getting the reps and putting the miles in.
Coach Chris Finwood, we appreciate the time. Congratulations on getting thus far. We realize you're torn a bit between your favorite Dodgers and the Monarch-laden Rays, but let's hope for a good World Series.
Yeah, let's go Rays.
That's Chris Finwood joining us on this edition of Who's Zoomin' Who, presented by Team Monarch, partner of the Virginia Lottery.
Peace.